Hi there. This is a lab and home automation demonstration. In my lab, there are 5 areas that I care about for automation. The first one being here, that is the entrance where I have a server to do all the automation. Next is my bench where I inspect and reflow boards for projects. Then there are the component sections where I use to populate the boards. There's a tools area. These are the tools I need to do my projects. And this is the printer area. I use this to print out any necessary parts for projects. Most of these labs have their own, each area have their own lights, and each area also have their own switches. Over there, of course, one over there, right in back of the toolbox, and one over there at the printer. These switches are regular switches. They function like any other normal switches. I can turn this off, and it will actually turn off the light in my solder area. I can also turn it back on. Without the server, these switches work like normal, but if you have a server, you can actually do some interesting stuff with the switches. I basically wrote a little macro so that when I turn off the light, it turns off the light in the soldering area, but I also can click it again, and it will actually turn off all the lights in my whole lab. The lights are off. Okay. So and I can also turn it all back on in one shot. So turn off one light to turn one on, and then click again to turn on all lights in the lab. So with automation, I don't necessarily have to go to the lights. I can actually just turn on this computer. And remotely turn on any of these 5 areas through any connected device. So I can again turn off the solder lab area. Click on this. That turns off the light. I can turn off the lights in the printer area by just clicking on it. And components area and tools area. There we go. Well, it's still pretty, can I say, primitive to actually go to something to turn on. So what I did is I've bought the Amazon Alexa, and this will give me at least some voice automation. So so with that, this thing communicates through a bridge to the server that's in the entrance area, and I can actually now let's just test it out. Computer, what day is today?
It's Thursday, 21st of December.
Okay, that's good. So it actually talks to me. So now let's voice command my solder area to turn on. Computer, turn on solder area.
Okay.
There we go. Turns on that. Computer, turn off component area.
Okay.
And let's do another one. I don't have to actually say clarity. This is quite intelligent, so I can actually say, computer, turn off printer.
Okay.
All right. And so I also have a main macro for this, to turn on all lights. Computer, turn off all lights.
Okay.
All right. And one last time to turn on everything in this area in the lab. Computer, Turn on all lights.
Okay.
There we go. So now I don't need to have to actually go to these switches. I can just talk to them. All right, that was the demo of the home lab automation.